Hello, everyone, and welcome to yet another episode of the Coin Republic. In every episode, we come up with someone special and talk about crazy things happening in the world right now. So, today I have a very fantastic individual with me. He's the founder and a creative director of Popology. Now, if you're wondering what Popology is, wait, we're going to talk about it. Apart from that, we're going to talk about a lot of exciting stuff like the NFTs, the metaverse, and decentralized social media. So please help me welcome joerey. Joe, welcome to the show.
Hello, thank you, Akshat. Very happy to be here and with TheCoinRepublic as well. Thank you for the invite.
Fantastic. Joe, I was looking at your LinkedIn profile and I was impressed with the kind of experience you've had in the industry. 33 plus years of a tremendous career. So before we talk about Popology, I would love to know a little bit about your journey. What made you who you are today?
I like to say the school of hard knocks in production. I always wanted to be in the film business from being in high school. I was always the guy who designed the stage plays and mostly to get out of class for a couple hours earlier or something. Just to be artful. I went to a tech school in high school, which allowed us to, build half of the day in shop in like cabinet making, carpentry, or machine drafting, all this type of stuff. And then the rest of the day was academic. But I got involved in doing stage design, not realizing that set design or production design was an actual career. My mom was one of the first dancers of American Bandstand in 1955.
Wow.
One of the first dancers. And so she ingrained this creative catalyst in my brain early on and supported my illustrations and designs and just would kind of coach me this way. Mm-hmm. And so I excelled in that. And then went to the Art Institute of Philadelphia. For a brief stint, I had to drop out for financial reasons, and I was traumatized. I was like, oh, this is the end of my life. I was like 18 years old then, or borderline 19. And I saw a movie set going on in Philadelphia. Actually, it was Mannequin, maybe the first Mannequin. Yeah, because I worked on Mannequin 2. I worked on the second one, but the first one was shooting in Philadelphia. And I'm like, I want to do that. And they had the police line tape and and everybody's watching. I'm like, I want to be there. I don't want to be on this side of the tape. I want to be on that side. So Philadelphia at the time was kind of a sea market film town on its way up. And I remember my landlord that I was living at had worked in City Hall and recommended that I go to visit the film commissioner of every city has their own film commissioner to bring projects to the city. Mm-hmm. And so I did that. I followed up, and meanwhile I had a little bit of experience working in theater, doing stage design part-time, trying to get my chops. And I talked to Big Game, and he's like, well, you should probably do an apprenticeship and work for free. And I'm like, okay, great. This is gonna be a long haul. So I managed to get an internship with my dear first mentors, Ellen Shire and Garrett Brown. And you'll know Garrett Brown's work from Rocky, all the Rocky series and The Shining. The guy is the inventor and creator of the Steadicam. We have all these floating cameras and stabilizing units. Well, he invented that I got to be an apprentice for and learn the ropes, and they put me in craft services, and I was horrible at it because I was more interested in what the art departments were doing. So they fired me there and put me in with the art department for an M&M's commercial I was working on. And I got to work with a great production designer named Vince Peranio, who happened to be the production designer of the old John Waters films, Hairspray and all this type of stuff. So he's a decent production. He would come from Baltimore to shoot these in Philly. I'm like, why are they bringing a production designer from Baltimore all the way to Philly, right? Not knowing, of course, he's a classic and powerful designer, but I'm like, is there anybody here that can do it? And there are good names of designers here. Norm Dodge and Steve Davis at the time, and Jesse Rosenberg, and different guys. And they were very well in their careers. And I printed up $40 business cards and said, I can do this. And lo and behold, I did. I got a job at WHYY Public Broadcasting and did a couple little shows there. I got an apprenticeship also with the Walnut Street Theater, helping build their stages for the actual big stage. And I excelled to learn about backdrops and lighting and all this great stuff. And then I basically connected through the years with a company that was this gentleman, who's still a friend of mine, Stuart Levy, who was designing a film studio in Philadelphia. And here I'm like 19 years old, 19, border close to 20, but not quite. And he's building a film studio of a utopian space of production and everything. And I meet him in a nightclub, and he's a magician and all this cool stuff. And I introduced myself. I had a little bit under my belt because of Garrett Brown, who's a big celebrity for filmmaking. So he gave me a shot to work with him and his company to help build and launch the film studio, which we did. And then I got my big brain because he had a seemingly infinite pocket to financially. So I said, well, why don't we build a film studio, or I'm sorry, why don't we build a scene shop next door? And then you have the film stage, and then you have the set shop. And that was nothing like that in Philly at the time. In fact, there wasn't really packaged film design with the soundstage as a commonplace. Today, it's a lot more common. And it was very uncommon back then, and we're talking like 89, 90, where a production designer would take the entire budget that the commercial production had and spend it on whatever you could pull up. There would always be, you hire the designer, you hire the builders, and the production company would allocate the funds. Well, so I convinced a few clients that trusted our process, and or took a risk on our process, actually, because I didn't have like that big of a career. Clients like my friend Ed Buffman, who's a great commercial cameraman director, Jeff Berry and Jim McGorman from a company called SBK Pictures at the time. They were like the high-end Disney or Spielberg of Philadelphia at the time, doing the best commercials and such. So they hired us for lots of good work, and we built a pretty good claim to our names for building and shooting, and having the set shop right next door, so you could work all night for 10 hours a day, 40 hours a day if you wanted to build the scenery in the studio. So we own the studio, so we were able to put more into the art department. So this process escalated, and then I saw music videos at the time. MTV was actually playing music videos, and they would put the name of the director and the production companies and all that. So I would track who directors are doing the best work. And at the time, there was a guy, Marcus Nispel, who I loved his work for Faith No More and George Michael, and just great, just incredible work. Lionel C. Martin was doing a lot of the R&B and hip hop videos at the time. And actually, it was right before hip hop. It was really broke, because I go back to where the New Jack Swing era, like they called it, Boys to Men was technically my first music video, Motown Philly. And that video just blew us up. And, so then Lionel C. Martin, who directed that video, took me with him to direct other projects like Tony Braxton, TLC, and then he fostered a young guy named Hype Williams, who's that fisheye director who did the big, popular, I say Populux rap videos that are just supreme. Hype can get anyone, no matter how tough you are, he can get rappers to do anything. So long story short, the career building on top of these great directors who mentored me and gave us a chance out of Philly to build things for a better price technically than New York, or, and then I was working bi-coastal from LA and Philadelphia, New York, which grew even bigger. So, I mean, it was a long process of just being around some of the best directors. I worked with Martin Scorsese, where I got to, watch his process, where we were the hosting house for Age of Innocence, 12 Monkeys with Terry Gilliam. I was on the outside of that. We would lease out some of our crew to the prospects. So I was able to be on set watching Hollywood in our backyard. And it's a phenomenal thing to watch. You know, it's simulation. You know, you look at the snowflake or the cosmos, and there's patterns that are all the same. And filmmaking is in a sense acting like a human god to create the environments that you have control over, right?
Right.
So I guess I'm not a control freak. I'm a director freak. I love to direct.
I love that.
Yes. So there you go. That's how it all started. And I love the business of storytelling.
Right. And I think this is what I absolutely love about this part of my job. You know, I get to listen to stories of so many exciting people and so many talented people. So kudos to you on your journey. I think that has been a really exciting one.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Akshat.
Now, talking about popology, now I want to understand from you, what is popology and how is it transforming the world in a creative way?
That's a great question. And I like how you prose it in the current, because 98% of the people, actually more than that, I'll say even 99% of the people don't know about popology. You know, if I've got 10,000 people that know about it, that's still nothing, right? But popology is everywhere. How often in a day do you smile? Okay, so popology is the formula of what it takes to get a smile on your face, the formula. Now, only you really know that, right? And you know, I have my formula, and we all have. Now, sometimes our formulas overlap. Sure, that's consensus, and that is mass popular. Yet individual popular is not heralded or ledgered in today's world. It is beginning because this whole NFT craze and the blockchain and the creativity that is, for the first time, we can account for something without the fear of corruption, right? And I don't mean that in any other way than that, is that, you know, you can't mess with the blockchain, right? So it's, you know, It's solid. So ledgering true popular by and for the people is more than noble. Because popular exists no matter whether we're here or not. The popology idea started when they invented the wheel. Whoa, that's cool, man, right? What's that? Whoa, It was right in front of us the whole time. So, you know, in societies, we've always had inspiration, and someone carries the idea to a fruition to create a smile of someone else. Or it is even more broad, or in an abstract way, which is like you and a buddy talking about a movie you like and the song lyric you connected to. Right. This is you expressing your popology, your formula of what you're drawn to. This conversation dynamic is essential to celebrate. And so many times in today's world, we put this away. We're told by, and I don't mean this negative to grandparents, because my grandparents were supportive, but grandparents or you're going to be responsible. You can't enjoy yourself all the time, you know. And I say that's not correct. The Rolling Stones song is so depressing. You can't get you can't always get what you want. If you work hard enough, you can. You know, so the ideation of popology has always been here. We're just giving a word to it. There is a science to popular, and I say this in a wrap up of the question. Popular in singular is the closest to belief system, right? Because you know it's your thought, a belief system, the singular, religion, if you will, or belief. In mass, popular is science, right? So science, popular in mass appeal or mass communication is science, because we count on it. So guess what? Popology is the only word that means belief system and science system. Okay, popular is a word that we can't take out of our vernacular. It will always be there. Pop is one of the most powerful forces in the earth. And it encompasses doctrine, religion, faith, God, politics, iconography, everything. It's everything. And so to encompass this concept was such a mission. That's why since 2001 is the inception of this, 2 weeks before the American 9/11 issues. And I took this as a sign from a bigger force that I'm being puppeted to bring this to the world in a way that will uplift and level the playing field of people's participation in large corporate ideas, and allow democracy to flow in the actions of everything, instead of being angry that someone's wealthy or angry that there's power. There is a human element to power, and I acknowledge that, yet what popology can do is deputize everyone to be a popologist, and that's a corporation of the self. So media literacy is essentially what I've dedicated popology to be. We have a fair use license. It's trademarked for and so it's a whole brand of trademarks we have, but popology is media literacy that focuses on confident self-expression and media literacy. And blockchain is media. The Bible and the Torah and the Kabbalah are all books, literature, media. So there isn't much that isn't inclusive of what, there isn't anything that doesn't include what popology is as a human-made asset to organize our lives and celebrate what we're already doing right.
Interesting.
It's so much. It's like I could just yak about how big this inflated balloon is, but it's and when it pops, when popology pops, if you will, obviously being deployed among all the people, when we have global inner peace. And I mean that. The goal, the agenda with popology is, and what that really means is, it's not for me to say. I'm not here to dictate what is popular and what isn't. We all are.
It's different for everyone.
Completely. And that's what's celebratory. That's what's great about it. And the strength part is, there are some things we're not going to like. Okay, there are some agendas out there I'm not really a fan of, yet I'm not here to limit it. I'm here to hear it out. Really what's really important is for us to have safe zones to communicate this information, and allow people to express themselves in safety instead of these shrouded dark scenarios. And there's a light to popology, and it also embraces the darkness as well. Is very much a yin-yang lifestyle, and it's got a lot of good going with it. The intention is to uplift, inspire, and validate. So did I answer your question?
Yes, absolutely. So when I was researching about popology, what I could understand is popology is more of a decentralized social media, where I can share things I want without being worried about whether it will be removed as per a central authority or something. So what I understood is that it's a decentralized social media where everybody wins. The creators, the curators, the people who are consuming the content, and those who are into advertisements. Everybody wins. And I found that fascinating, because when you see traditional YouTube or any traditional social media, only the creators win. Consumers win in a way, but when it talked about earning, that is where I found out that this is really fascinating. Can you elaborate how can a content consumer earn from this?
It's a big question you just asked there, and you partly answered it too. So I love that. Well, first of all, I got a little bit of an advantage as a personal guy, in the sense that I've been a director to create and shape pop culture media and had a pretty good stake in it for my scale. You know, there's bigger directors out there that are doing great jobs. I worked for Joseph Kahn, by the way, for Backstreet Boys. I'll tell you about that in a minute. But also I was a baby that brought into the internet. So it wasn't here when we used cell phone. We didn't use cell phones. You know, we came into it where the internet was being created. So what Popology really represents is the which also 3.0 does as well. Web 3.0 as a concept of the new web coming, is more of what the original web internet was supposed to be. Now, the adoption for everyone's use cases took a long time. And then the big inventors came up with Google and Facebook and MySpace and YouTube, which I love. I love these platforms. They created such a utility for everyone that they took everyone's data and say, okay, this is what you do with it. So they've shown us some great lessons. And then now we're in this metaverse that things are growing, which is great because we're all in the same thinking. So I've been in this same thinking for decades, knowing this was coming. And that's where Popology has been invented. So essentially, I invented the concept of a platform. My partner, Dan Rush, as well. I have the best partner in the world. He's a director at Comcast as well. He works at, he has his own pay-per-view live events streaming service company. And he's an excellent media mogul, a kind and gentle partner, strong when he needs to be. And he lets me be a little bit of a wild card when I need to be. But he also, you know, he directs the shots very well. And I'm just very grateful to him. We innovated this platform to seed a centrifuge of all of it. Because let me give you an example. If you know, we're all healthy here, thank God. If you had cancer, cure for cancer, you'd be all over Google looking for the answer, right? And you wouldn't stop there. You would look at Yandex, right? And you'd go to Bing, and you'd go to all these search. We go wherever you could, right? You'd be looking at everything. Well, guess what? Try this experiment. Open up 5 windows and pick a search browser for each one, and then do a video search for each one of those platforms. Now, again, I love Google. Google's my go-to, and I love Yahoo, love it too. Bing is cool too. Yandex, love Yandex because it's Chinese driven, and their search query for that search is holistic medicines and naturopathic approaches on the top search queries, okay? I'd have to go to page 500 or something to get the Western, you know, whatever. I mean, I've done that. But in other words, each platform has their own sanctified agenda or corporate sponsors that they identify with. That's their right. That's what they do. They're building it. We got it for free. Hey, it's a great source. So I'm not complaining here. But the media literacy of the reality is, if you really want to find what your truth is, you need to do the research on all platforms. And okay, fair enough. So Popology enables this information campaign to happen instantaneous. So if you've got 2,400 tiles populating from 5 or 6, we aggregate 10 platforms at once for free, 25 for super users. You immediately get all the information you want, and you can choose what it is for you. That's the point of, you know, and so branded strength is something to be excited about. It's also something to be careful about, or to be concerned about, because, you know, and I love Nike. Adidas is my personal brand. But Nike will say for all day it's the best sneaker in the world and the most iconic logo, which it could be. Yet the point is, what happens when the people answer that question?
Right.
The people. It doesn't mean they haven't asked everybody, but what about a blockchain that tracks all the use cases for every single person, but we have access to it? See, our CIA has it, and I'm glad our government tracks this stuff, but I don't see it. I would like to see it. Now agencies pay Facebook $15 to $18 per report of everyone on that platform to decide who likes Velcro more than shoelace tie-ups, right? So they're charging the data, and again, that's their right. That's what they're in business for. Right. I watched Zuckerberg in the Senate hearings, and he just said, this is our business model and we're not changing it. I was excited about that. You know why I was excited about that? Because now Popology is offering something that no one else will. Okay. And I'm not saying there's platforms out there that will offer you to pay data in the background of your computation. I have one app that I do photo editing on. And they say we keep our app on in the background to serve you ads better or something, right?
Right.
That's a photo app. That's a photo app. That's not even the social media. That's not, everybody's doing this, right?
Right.
And so what we're creating is the media literacy experience to say you're merchandising your own data and we're going to make sure you get paid for it too. You know, here's a model. How much do you pay for your internet bill, personal internet bill per month? Just give me a number.
So in INR, I pay around 1,000 INR.
You pay 1,000? Okay, so with a Popology membership, free, using, say, make one podcast. Now, 1,000 might be what, like $30 a month in the US or something, or I don't know, maybe 60, I don't know. Our goal is to pay at least half of your internet bill, at least half, just by following the process of building one podcast. Because what it is you're merchandising your data. Right. And the workspace that we've assembled enables this activity, but not just working in the background while you do all the things you do. We're actually giving you the forefront workspace to say, what are you doing on the internet? What do you care about? And while you create this podcast, this curated stream of media, these are being ledgered for digital rights usage, which is huge. That's called digital rights reporting. That's AKA fair use. So you can use Michael Jackson and Mickey Mouse and earn from it, be rewarded for it. And then at the end of the day, this curated stream, unlike another, is an NFT. So the whole podcast itself is a unique report by the user. And it's completely original, it's completely patented, it's completely locked down. So the idea here is that we've created a broadcast network that's equal to the production qualities of an NBC in your pocket, and give you the validation as a curator. How many people are great curators? Maybe they don't make content, but they got great taste. When I was a kid, we had the mixtape. It was a mixtape. If you had a mixtape and you had to mix all the good radio songs together, you'd hear the radio DJ get cut off at the end. You know, now I wish I heard the DJs that were, you know, saying,
I think we all have a friend who is very good at such things.
Yes.
Who knows how to curate the right content and just.
Oh, isn't that? And that's how you respect people. That's how the DJ started. The DJ saved my life. That's a real thing, because the DJ is tapped into the feel and the motions and the emotions of the people, and he curates, or she curates, the emotions to bring it to the table. And curation is so important. It's you know, creating original content by all means is dynamic and awesome. Yet curating it is almost equal to and fun, right? So if we can pay people for this and give it a lifestyle of where, you know, I heard a story that in Africa, you know, hard times there, the big job to do or career is obviously farming, but the men can't make the money on farming, but they can play some game on some, like, you know, called Farm Aid or some whatever, farm something, and they're making like $140 a month on it. But, you know, the living wage is 110, 120, whatever the story is, they're able to make their living off of doing something technological, okay? Well, what Popology's dream is to infuse Popology as a lifestyle, so that when you build your podcast, use your internet services as you normally do, you can take a break from it, from the intention you put into it, and now go experience life more productively, with our intentional time on the internet being more prolific and more rewarding. You know what I'm saying? Everybody can be a Kardashian with just maybe even better taste. Who knows?
I think it's more about self-expression. Once you start expressing yourself, it certainly brings out a difference in us. And I was watching one of your videos and I came across a statement that you gave is Popology is not about mass opinion. It's about personal opinion. And I found it so fascinating because it got stuck with me. And I personally believe that self-expression is a very powerful tool for human transformation.
Thank you, Akshay. Yeah, I like that. Thank you for recognizing that. I say some nice one-liners once in a while. I mean it though, is that the individual is so unique. I could tell you a story and you could go tell someone else, and honestly, it would be completely different to some. It would have your nuance to it. And nuance is as heavy as a brick. It's not subtle. It's the way, you know, I always had this philosophy of, you know, you're wearing a blue shirt from what I can identify. My eyes see blue and I see the tone, and how I see the tone blue for you could be my yellow, right? So we don't know until you're able to brain, you know, neurons that you're, you know, but even then, so the conversation is what we see in each other. You know, I disapprove when people say what I'm thinking. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't track that. You can try. I mean, we are a lot alike, and we're very, and there is an importance to that. Yet there's an individuality that is so unique, and it's important not to cover over that, to bury it with other people's judgments, or you got to express. We have one chance on this planet, okay? And our lifespan is, you know, 80 to 100 years if you're lucky. So why not make it count? Why not? Since I was a little boy, I wanted to be an inventor, and I didn't know why, what, really, because everything's really kind of invented. But the word popology hit me like a ton of bricks, and I'm like, I can't. And it lends itself to the popologist, right? Popologist is a science and spiritually minded, creative professional seeking to define the collective and true landscape of popular. The true landscape of popular. Okay. What's your favorite motorcycle?
Royal Enfield.
Who is it?
Royal Enfield.
Royal NT? I don't know that one.
Royal Enfield.
Okay. So, and I would say for me, it's Harley Davidson. Okay. Now they say Harley Davidson is what they call a cult brand. People say they love it and they don't even have one, right? They can't even probably afford one. So true popular is something we should still all try to find what that measurement is. Who, you know, and it'll change. It'll always change. You know, as soon as the kids find out that we all love, you know, the time, 6 o'clock, they'll like, oh, well, I like 12 o'clock, you know, just because. So it'll never stay stagnant, but we do have to track it. We have to give respect to our humanity and know our information, and not leave it up to the government or the faiths to do that.
Right.
It's our job.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I agree that it keeps changing always. Right. Now, talking about the NFTs. So I was looking at when I was researching, I got to know that there's an NFT book of pop. So our audience would love to know about it.
Ah, okay. Well, here it is right here.
Oh, you have it.
Yeah, you know what's in it? It's what you put in it.
Interesting.
So, no, it's the Popology Book of Pop was sort of an idea that I had when in 2018 to create a fan portal for news agencying, you know, people who meet Steven Tyler or meet Madonna or whatever, and create a fan portal that people can contribute to the fan portal and beef up the profile of Steven Tyler when after meeting him. So so the idea is I've assembled it's really an aggregation portal, fan portal, that a user controls the page. Okay, it's not a copyright issue because it's aggregation. It's like Wikipedia, right? So, but Wikipedia is not on the blockchain, and you can add details to a post on Wikipedia. It has to be approved, of course, right? It has to be true, has to be correct. So, so the Book of Pop, popologist.org, is a site where you can upload, you can create a post of your favorite artist and dump all kinds of content about that. And then you get rewards and I mint it for free for the user, and they control it. So what happens is, but it has to have good information. It can't, and you don't want to like jump people off the page. You can include links as a report, but we want to, I want to hear what the user's premise is. It's got to be an original story. Like if you were to do a story, it's your story, right? So it starts the page. So it basically is an NFT of curation and aggregation of anything about that artist on one page. So it's the link that's the NFT. Well, the link, I mint it on Waves, but it's minted, the page is minted. You follow? And then the user base, whoever controls that page, controls it, and then it gets auctioned off. Somebody else buys it for our Popology coin, by the way, and then they have to buy it for double the price. So say somebody makes I just made one for Ed Hopper. Ed Hopper's the fine artist. So say that page aggregated goes for, I just did one for Slash too. So let's say Slash, he's more popular today. Slashes might sell for 30 coins, right? We have $5 coins, so 5 times 30, whatever. So so somebody would buy the control for 30 coins, and then they would have to add, the new controller would have to add whatever details they like about Slash, increase the value in data. That's what it's about, the aggregation of the data. And then the next person, they can add a sentence, that's all they need to add, but technically a block of information. And then someone else has to buy it from them for double the price. So that's 60 tokens, 60 coins. So then the other person that got it bought from them could actually buy it back, but they have to buy it back for double. And so what happens is people can buy it back from each other, and it raises the price.
And the trading happens.
So then when the coin is worth, say, 200 million coins, just putting it out there, now Slash has an opportunity to sign the card, to authenticate it. And now the user who's last holding the potato gets half of the coin, and Slash gets the other half for his charity. And then Popology only makes a transaction fee. That's it.
Right.
So it's really a charitable information ledgering use case of NFT creation. And that's it. And nobody's doing that, actually.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it's a fan. Please sign up, and and here's another thing. Anyone who signs up, and actually, I will create an NFT of you as the TheCoinRepublic interview popologist. And when this brand goes public, people are going to want to buy your trading card page, because it's got all of your details, what you like, what you don't like, whatever. And then the same thing happens, because every popologist is going to be just as iconic as the celebrities we're servicing. You have my word on that.
Wow.
What do you think my card's going to go for?
That's amazing. I absolutely love this. And while I was researching, while talking to you, oh, wow.
He's the carrot. Have you seen the mascot, the popologist, the first pop character? You probably haven't seen him. This is the character. You've seen it. Okay.
I've seen
there you
it.
go.
Lovely. All right, Joe. It was lovely talking to you. Lovely to know you and about Popology. And I think I've had a wonderful conversation here. Got to learn so much about you. And I'm sure our audience also learned a lot from you.
Can I add one more detail of a little plug? We have a private sale of our Popology coin, right? I mean, we have two coins. We have an in-app token for the in-app app that we're building called Pop Token. The Popology coin is a private sale premium coin that we're selling for $5 each. And I would recommend that anybody who's interested in seeing that our brand is going somewhere, they can buy it, because we've been around for plenty of years, 11 years as a company. And our platform is going to be able to trade the coins that you win on Amazon, because we're using Amazon servers. So, and we'll bring on other partners as well. So the coin, to answer one of your questions, will be tradable for merchandise on various outlet platforms, because that's popular. That's it.
Interesting. Lovely. All right, Joe. It was fantastic talking to you. And I would love to connect with you one more time sometime in future. Looking forward.
Whenever you want. See ya. Thank you.